So we all know the standard count plus plus operation is not atomic. And in the previous video, we went into the assembly language code to understand why exactly it isn't. Do watch it if you haven't already. I'll link it in the description down below. In this video, we will make count plus plus atomic using pessimistic locking. It is one of the most popular ways of writing correct multi-threaded programs. In the process, we will also understand what pessimistic locking is, the core intuition behind mutexes, and how to use them. So here I'm using a cloud-based IDE called Replit to code this out. Because it is cloud-based, I do not have to set up anything locally and I just need a browser to get started. Replit has an amazing LLM assistant named Ghostwriter, which is extremely powerful because it is vertically trained on programming and software development knowledge base. And the best part is it spits out answers and suggestions in the context of the code that you are writing. Apart from this, Replit has something called as bounties, which can help you make some money on the side. As a bounty, companies post paid projects on web applications, AI tools, Discord bots, and so much more. You can pick the one that interests you, complete it, and get paid. Just sign up on Replit with my link in the description down below. Once you sign up, on the home page itself, you can see a section called bounties. When you click on explore, you can see the projects that are listed there and the amount of money you can make out of that. Pick the one that interests you, apply for it, and just get started. So the link for the sign up is in the description down below. Go through that, sign up from our link. And this, to be honest, is a great way to make some money on the side doing what you love. So do check that out. So now let's head back to the video. So when two threads try to update the same variable, the final value may be inconsistent or incorrect. To see this in action, we would write a simple Golang based code in which we'll have a global variable called count, and we would run 1 million threads trying to update the same variable count, do plus plus on it. At the end of it, we should expect the final value to be 1 million, but would we get it? We would definitely not. We would see that the value becomes incorrect, and then we would wrap it with pessimistic locking to make it 1 million every single time. So let's jump right into the code and see things in action. To do this, what we would do is I'll define a variable called count int equal to 0. And then I would say count equal to 0. I'll write a function called do count, in which what this function would do is it would spin up 100,000 threads. So 1 million threads for I equal to 0, I is less than 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 million, I plus plus. And I'll write another function called increment count, whose job would be to increment the count variable and make it plus plus. So I'll do count plus plus, count plus plus, and done. Okay. Now this is what we are doing up until now, but what we would want to do is we would want to update this count plus plus in one shot. So by using multiple threads. So I'll just prefix it with go. In Golang, if you prefix a function call with go, it would spin it off in its go routine. And what we would want our main function to wait until all go routines are done executing. So for that, we would define a wg sync.wait group. Ideally, what it helps us achieve is whenever we spin off a go routine, if we do wg.add1, and when my go routine is done executing, we do wg.done. It would just increment that value by the number that you passed over here in an atomic fashion, and done will reduce it by 1. Right? Now the key thing is that when you do wg.wait, this is a blocking call. It would wait until my wg's value is 0. When would a wg value become 0? When all of my threads, because for every single thread we are doing +1 and we are doing -1 when it is done executing. So it would become 0 when all of my threads are done executing. Right? And once it is executed, then I will do fmt.println and I'll print the value of count. Right? And now if I run the code, we should see some numbers, that the final value of count. And we see that the final value is not equal to 1 million. It should be 1 million, but it is not 1 million. We see different types of values. It's 988k. We are seeing now 993k, right? So the value is not 1 million, which is what we expect. This shows that the count plus plus is not atomic in nature, right? So now what do? We want to make it correct, right? So again, as I always say, it's easy to write multi-threaded program, but difficult to write correct multi-threaded program. So let's understand why is this happening, right? So here the root cause of the problem is the operation count plus plus, because that is not atomic. And why it is not atomic? Like, because it is not atomic, we can't go and change the implementation of count plus plus, right? So what do? We would want this part of code to be executed by just one thread at a time, which means no two threads should be executing count plus plus at the same time. So what do? We wrap it with locks. This technique is pessimistic locking. We are being pessimistic about the thing, and we would want the thread to acquire the lock and then do count plus plus and then release the lock. This way, if I have n threads waiting to acquire the lock, one of them would succeed, which would execute count plus plus, and then it would release the lock, and then only the next thread would come in. Otherwise, it would not. Right? So this is really important. Because count plus plus is not atomic, we're wrapping it with pessimistic lock. This implementation is classically called Mutex, basically mutually exclusive implementation, right? So what we are doing is we are making this critical section to be mutually exclusive for one thread or one go routine at a time, right? Which is what we would implement now. So in the function that we wrote, what we would want is, ideally we would want this count plus plus to be executed by just one thread at a time. So what do? We define a mutex. Let's call it mu sync.mutex. Almost every language has some or the other mutex implementation. You can pick your favorite and go about it. And what we would do is we would just wrap this mutex with mu.lock and mu.unlock. That's it. And now when I do it, now when I run the code, I would always see 1 million no matter how many times I run. You can see 1 million every time it is getting outputted. It's always output 1 million no matter what. Why is it happening? Because we just wrapped our count plus plus with mu.lock and mu.unlock. What is it doing? It's ensuring that even if I have 1 million threads all wanting to do count plus plus, it would only one thread would be able to acquire the lock, move forward, and then release the lock. Once it releases the lock, another thread would move in, do plus plus, and then release the lock. That's the core idea behind it. But now you can very clearly see the problem in this approach. The problem in this approach is performance. That you had 1 million threads all wanting to do this, but 999,000 threads are just waiting for one thread to complete. So whenever you apply pessimistic locking, one of the key things for you to understand is that your time, your performance will degrade, because a lot of things are just waiting for, like a lot of threads which could execute are just waiting for some other thread to release the lock, right? So always remember this, pessimistic locking is not free of cost. And the amount of code you put between your mutex, in this case it's just one line, the amount of code you put between your mutex needs to be bare minimum so that you can maximize the parallelism. Ideally what you could have done, you could have just wrapped this entire inc count function in a mutex. But why? Like imagine this function being big and having a lot of other statements. You are just unnecessarily waiting for things that you could proceed, like some threads could proceed on that, but you are just making them wait unnecessarily. So a golden rule to write performant multi-thread program is keep your size of the critical section to a bare minimum. Do not bloat up your critical section. Put the logs wherever necessary, not just wrap entire function together, because it would just degrade your performance by a massive margin, right? But your program will have to be, like your program needs to be correct. In this case, the correctness was that the final value of count should be equal to 1 million, which is what we achieved. So again, as I said, writing concurrent program is easy. Writing correct concurrent program is difficult, and it's really tough to write performant, correct, multi-threaded programs. So yeah, this is all what I wanted to cover in this one. I hope you found the concept of pessimistic. Like now, I hope you understand the concept of pessimistic locking really well, so that you can apply it at hundreds of places. Depending on the language that you are using, be it C, C++, Java, every language has some of the other constructs that comes out of the box for you to use to have these guardrails, if I may put it, like mutexes, semaphores. These are your friends to play around with multi-threaded program. In Java, you have synchronized block that does something very similar. Right. So yeah, this is all what I wanted to cover in this one. I hope you found it interesting. Hope you found it amusing. That's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a ton.